Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 8th of December. There's not a lot happening with the S&P. In fact, it's really struggling to hold up there, and it's not really sort of performing as it should do within the particular wave structure that we have it in. So we need to be very mindful of a pullback in that regard. All of that said, let's go in and have a look at what's going on. So on the weekly chart here, I think it's interesting here, the trend line through here that was resistance is now looking a little bit like support on that level. But we should be, this looking at wave 1 here and 2 here and going into wave 3 here. We're not really seeing that powerful move in that wave 3 here. So that's a little bit of a concern. I do believe we still got further upside, because when we look at stocks, we can see that a lot of them have further to go to the upside, and some of them are in corrective modes, still in wave 4s, and just coming out of this wave 4 here. So yeah, there should be more upside with all that. The Nasdaq's traveling somewhat better, and we'll take a look at that as well. But let's just cruise in and check them out. So yeah, as you can see, because I can count 5 waves in this space to here, and that would also be in line with the Nasdaq, there is the count that the alternative count that we can put this wave 1 further over in this space here for this. And I guess, I'm just shooting the breeze here, but it's also possible that we could also put wave 5 there. I don't think it's the case because of where stocks are, but if we count up as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and ABC for 4 and up for 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and then look at this as 1 and 2 here, and the third wave's not quite finished, the fourth and the fifth wave here to get wave 1 here, which also could be wave 5, the end of this here for that. It's possible. I mean, I'll just grey it out. I mean, we just got to look at these things, but because of where stocks are, we don't think that's the case. Yeah, so this count is reasonably valid. It's not in line with the Nasdaq, so that's why I don't give it a lot of weight. But we'll just keep working through that in that regard. Just coming back to the daily chart. One of the other points here too is that this current top here has got this trend line coming through it now, so that's also dampering the structure at this particular point. So it would be nice to see that as support as well. So let's just move into the 4-hour chart. And the thing here with this count that I've got is that we're in the third of the third of the third here. So we should be seeing this, really sort of move off and, give us a much more sharper move to the upside, but it's just not happening. So that does raise alarm bells for all of this. The Nasdaq is traveling a bit better. We can also see that trend line here a little bit clearer, just coming in on this current top here for that. So perhaps once we get that as support, then we can move up a little bit quicker than that. We shall see. But yeah, I mean, wave 3 should be somewhere in line with wave 1 power and structure here, but it's just not the case. But it is creeping to the upside, so that's one thing. But obviously, we need to keep an eye on that before we go too far in here and look at the intraday count. Well, this is an intraday count, I guess, but from wave 2 here to wave 3 here, looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and looking for 5 waves in here for 3, 4 and 5 here for that third wave that will take us up closer to that 4,000 area there. But I just want to have a look at the Nasdaq while we're here before we go too far into that. So once again, with the Nasdaq here, we'd be looking up above the 15,000. I mean, technically, we should be looking up at 15,000 in all of this, but let's just break this down a little bit. But this is the bigger picture here with wave 3, an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and going up for wave 1 here, ABC for 2 here, and then heading higher at that point. If this is a wave 5 here, then we'll have a larger wave 3 on top of that So we'll see a larger correction occur in this space rather than the wave 2. So this be something we need to work through. But still currently we're in this space here. So let's just take a quick look at that. So from that wave 4 here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. So this market's moving up a little bit better. Still needs to climb a lot higher though. But it's doing better. How are we going with this top here? So it's just finding, it's been working through that previous top here. It's found it as resistance, but now it looks like it's got it as support and made a new high there. So that's a promising aspect of this particular structure here, but we still have further to go within all of this. Have I got 4 hour done here? So yeah, a little bit more here for this. I think I need to go to the hourly chart to look. But the takeaway here is that it is moving quite nicely here, not as strong as the first wave, but it is creeping and climbing and, sort of getting there. So I'm slightly hopeful. I mean, it's not such a good thing to be in the markets, hopeful, but yeah, it's just doing all the right things. I mean, even in this channel here, it's, working to the top of the channel rather than the bottom of the channel. So that's a positive thing as well. So from 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here, and I suppose you could count this differently, but I've got it as 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, fifth for 1 and 2 here, a small wave 2 pullback. So it could be counted differently. We probably could have this as 1 and 2, and then this is 1 and 2 as well. But the main takeaway here is that we're still seeing impulse waves to the upside and corrective waves to the downside in all of this. So this is, it's pointing higher. That's the probably the best word I can get. So and we're still long in this particular one. We've been on this spike here on the S&P. We got flipped out, unfortunately, but we can move this up into this space now. We have another long position there. So this all looks pretty chirpy sort of in here. It's all a little bit messy in here, but don't forget it was getting through that old high. So it's into new highs now, and we'll also been talking a lot about this number here, not so much the 12, but the 500. So from 12,000 to 13,000, it's the halfway mark. So that's really promising, finding support on that level, because that just sets the target to the upside at that point, to the next level up. So from green wave 2 down yonder here to green wave 3 up here, we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And then green wave 4. And as I mentioned, this, you could count this differently here, so we may need to adjust this. But all in all, there's a little bit of faith in the Nasdaq here for that. Coming back to this market here, we'll just break in and have a look at this particular structure in here, and then we'll have a look at a few stocks. Not that they're doing much either, but we'll look at them all the same. As I mentioned yesterday, we'll take a look at those. So yeah, blue wave 2 to blue wave 3 here. We're looking at 1 and 2 and nice strong third wave or long third wave, hopefully. We still need height for this as well, because we need this blue wave 3 here to be longer than this guy here as well. So than wave 1 here. So we'll look at that here. Just move that to the lower end of wave 2. So we do need to see it at, up here for this. So I think I've spaced it out right, all of this. Let's just go check it out on the hourly chart here a bit more. So green wave 2 to green wave 3 here, we're looking at 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, a little bit messy in this space here, but looking for wave 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here for wave 3, 4, and then 5, and then 4, and so on up here. We can go to the 15-minute chart and break that little wave 3 in here down a little bit further. So from this wave 2 to this wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves of light blue. Wave 1 is perfect. It's funny because this wave 1 here is really like the big blue, dark blue wave 1 heading up from orange wave 4, you know, and then all of this is the same. So it's got that same fingerprint sort of happening. So we'll just stay with that. So I do need to double check this count within here. I mean, I've moved wave 1 to here from here. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but it has made a new low in this spike here. Or I don't know if I should pay attention to that. So I do need to work through that a little bit. I'm okay with this particular move here. Nice strong third wave in the middle here, fourth wave. This could be counted as 5 waves and 3 waves and another 5 waves down here for this wave 4 as well. But it could also sit here. I'm just putting it on the lower one at this stage. We could count this up as 5, 2 in terms of a little 1 and 2 in here and 3 and 4 and 5 and back for the 61.8%. So we'll see how we go with that. But it's basically banging its head against the 3700. So the arrival, the reaction, whatever that's going to be, it may be over here a little bit further. And then wave 5 up through to here. So this is where we got clipped out here because technically it shouldn't have gone below this point here. So I guess you could go long in this space down through here, but otherwise we'll wait for a classic trading levels set up here. So we'll need to see wave 5 here, the A, the B and the C wave here, and then move up from that point. So we can look to do that over here or on these highs here, or drawing a line through here, or even this wave 4 pullback of this degree, because that will take us to this one here, somewhere in there, and we've still got another wave 4 to manage at that point there as well. So it's probably not the best market to trade at the moment. This one, I'd rather be in the Nasdaq, but it may catch up and do sorts of things. We'll see how that goes. Let's just have a quick look at some stocks. So I'll just start from my top of my list here. Amazon, so looking very sluggish. So I've got this as a wave, an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. You probably could get this as a wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, possibly. This is the wave 1 that we're looking at with the Nasdaq and the S&P, and back for the wave 2. It doesn't look right for me, and we could also look at all this in some sort of triangle fashion here as well for all of that. That's why I've got D and E here for that. So we'll have to see how that goes as well. But it's certainly not moving off here. We've got a bit of a trigger coming into this space here, and that's interesting so far because we could look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here for the D wave being here, or we could look at it as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here for that. So it's not going to make a lot of difference really, but we'll see how this goes in the next session or two and how that can be relabeled at that point. But either a triangle, or that's what we're looking at to the upside in terms of an impulse wave. The Alphabet's probably next. Yep. So in this case, we've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, so we're way above that here. So yeah, I mean, the first thing we noted was this impulse wave structure here, and here we've talked about being long at this point and adding long trades over here. We can do the same again over, I'll just use this large one here, copy that. We can do it on that. We could also, I mean, this is a tick chart, so I can't draw past the price on the right hand side, but that green line can come down to this space here for that, okay, onto that one. 5 waves. I don't know if that's 5 into here or 5 to there. I need to pull that apart. Let's have a quick look. I have to take it from there with 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, that looks like 5 waves in that space. Oh, I was looking at this one. I need to pull that apart a bit further. I can't see. If it doesn't jump out at me, then I'll have to double check it. It takes a bit of time. But good news, 1800. The profit-taking number 8 has had its play, and let's just see, buying above that, and if that's the case, then 2000's the target for that. So yeah, this has been our leading stock. So this is really, well, there's other leading stocks as well, but it was one of them that popped up first, and that was very helpful. I mean, Square was the other one that I haven't really focused on a lot, but as a wave 3 and 4 here, it's moving off nicely. So Square and PayPal are my favorite, well, let's just call them banking stocks, really, the new world disruptors. And let's just check out Apple here. Apple's going along okay. As I mentioned last time we spoke, this we could count this as an impulse wave here. This is 100 ticks, this one, but an impulse wave here, and we're looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave here, so it means we could go long above the B wave. That's a safe trade. Of course, you can get it in lower, all those sorts of things, but yeah, it's doing all the right things, so it should just continue to mosey along to the upside without too much ado. I need to figure out that little move within here, so maybe that looks about right. So we'll probably see that move up a bit higher and then have a little correction back and again. So another chance to move in there for that, but that's really where that is there for that. Let's cruise along a little bit further. That's Apple. What about Netflix here? I haven't seen that for a while. So Netflix is, I mean, this is one of the cases, you know, well, first of all, it's possible to put wave 5 here because we got 5 waves up through to here. I don't think it's the case, but it's possible, and I need to point that out to folks. So that means that if that's wave 5 here, which hasn't really made a nice decent high above here, so it's probably not the case, but this move down through here could be counted as wave 1, going back for wave 2 at the 61.8% and fail at that point. So once this market is sitting on 540 or sitting on top of the 61.8% as the tested support, which is the 530, the top of Group 1, well, then that's going to be healthy for the upside in that regard. So then we can forget about that being wave 5 and just look at this as an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave and down for the C wave here, and now building to the upside. So this top of Group 1 is always important, as you may know, so we'll look for a classic trading levels pattern here for that, and if that's the case, then we can copy that and put that there for the second position, because getting support on top of that Group 1 and on top of the 61.8% will be a catalyst for further upside, and we can look up at the medium level here, 650 for that. What have we got next here? Facebook. Yeah, once again, this could all be counted differently as well. I've just put wave 4 here, and I don't like that very much. Yeah, there's a lot I don't like about this. So what I could say about this is I don't have a lot of confidence in this, but because of where the markets are going, and we had a little impulse wave here, that means we could go long above that one. And if this is impulsive as well, so we can go long above that. It's sitting on 280. This is all of Group 2 here now. So that's all healthy at that point. We don't have that as resistance. So we should push higher for all of this. I've got this A wave, B wave and C wave sitting here as well for wave 4 sitting right here. And I think that's just as valid as well. It will, once the structure starts, getting closer to the end up here, we'll have a better understanding of what all this is here as such. So yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence in what I've done here, put it that way. But when I don't know the wave count, then I revert to just basically simple support and resistance. And most winning trading methods are, when you sort them all out, revert back to support and resistance in some way or another. And because we're above the supply level in this space here, we're in good stead here for further upside. So that's really what I'm well, I've got wind in my sails on that one. All right, I'll just leave it at that for the stocks. Let's just recap that S&P 500 for a moment. I should be really recapping it on the Nasdaq, which I probably will have another just quick look at. So the takeaway here is that we got the 3700 as the resistance. That's the big deal at this point here. We need it as support. So hopefully by Friday we've got nice support here, and we're sort of heading further up at that point, and we're gaining a bit more momentum. In the bigger picture, as I've mentioned here on the 4-hour chart, we're facing that 3700 as the resistance here. So that's, you know, it is something. It is important, but in the bigger picture still, on the weekly chart here, we are now sitting on from the famous megaphone picture coming in here that folks had, rightfully so, I guess, to a point. But we are now, we you know, like a classic trading levels pattern, we had the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, and now we're sitting on support here. So let's we could look at that as the first high above the level as well. But for the short term, we've got that support. We need to get on to 37, which is not a big deal. The 3800 is the big deal here. That's the one that we need to get through. So bringing over the Nasdaq once again here, the takeaway here is that you can be long in this market as long as that 500 stays as the support. That's the number that you need to be focused on. So we've got our stop under that at the moment. Yeah, and the next levels up here are Group 2. So 65, which is 12,650, of course, and 72. 700 is important, but 72, and of course the 800 here. So that's the important level at that point. But because we're getting support on the 500, that pretty much sets the target to the next major level there. So because we're over the halfway mark, we're on top of the hill. It's all downhill from this point onwards to reach that next bus stop at 13,000. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.